There's a portal. I never noticed the books going towards the portal before. Alright, we got character entries. Hi, Hendrik. Considering the way spy corps of all stripes tend to function, Hendrik was undoubtedly not this man's real name. Nevertheless, that was the only appellation the Witcher knew for his Imperial Majesty's nose to the ground in Velen. After asking around, Geralt learned Hendrik lived in the village of Heatherton. That's a little spoiled. Triss Merigold. I always considered it a point of particular pride to count Triss Merigold of Maribor among my closest and dearest friends. This exceptionally talented sorceress was a shining star of her profession, a former mage advisor to King Foltest, and a famous hero of the Battle of Sedan, known as the 14th of the Hill, yet in no way did she resemble her often unbearably haughty sisters in magic. Her deft mime, warm smile, and considerable personal charm had always won over even the hardest of hearts. Now, my personal relations with Triss never ventured beyond the fraternal. Geralt of Rivia at one point found her allure irresistible. From then on, the two shared feelings that ran far deeper than a superficial and fleeting fancy. Yennefer told Geralt that Triss had recently taken up residence in the free city of Novigrad. Yennefer made it clear why the Wild Hunt wanted Ciri. Eredin wanted the power latent in her elder blood. She also let Geralt know that Ciri had been seen in war-ravaged Velen as well as in Novigrad, the largest city in the world. Okay. Then we need to look at quests. Geralt's retrieve your equipment, yeah. But before I do that, let me loot. There's still some more reading and dialogue. You're getting a lot of background. There's a war going on. If you're ever confused about anything, you can make a comment and I'll explain what's going on. A sword, yep. That's what she looks like.
Scars healed nicely.
The Last Wish. Human life requires three things for its sustenance: food, drink, and gossip. It is thus no wonder that no matter where I travel, be it icebound Provis or even green Toussaint, everyone asks me about the passions that bind Geralt and the sorceress Yennefer to Wengerberg. As a man both cautious and discreet, I refuse to betray their secrets. With one important exception, the history of their first encounter is so extraordinary, so romantic and moving, that it would be a veritable crime to hide its light beneath a bushel basket. Indeed, had I not witnessed these events in person, I would never believe there was room in our grim and dark world for such fantastic marvels. It all began when Geralt and I were feeling a bit peckish and unburdened by heavy coin pouches, decided to fish our supper out of the lake. No bites were to be had, but we did not leave empty-handed. My hook snagged quite a lovely little pot. Oblivious to my friend's warnings, I opened it, and in so doing I freed a powerful gem. Without giving it much thought, I set about proclaiming my wishes. Before I could get to three, however, the Djinn, irritated, I see now in hindsight, at being issued demands so soon after waking, began to throttle me. Geralt was able to drive him off, but I was left in a sorry state. I acted, the Witcher told me later, as though under the influence of some curse. Clearly the help of an expert in the magic arcana would be needed. It was our good fortune that Yennefer of Wengerberg happened to be staying in a nearby village. Geralt went to her to ask that she heal his best friend, who happened also to be the brightest star in the Norse poetic firmament. Yennefer, however, was more interested in the Djinn, which she wanted to trap into magic servitude, than in its victim, and it should be said, played the Witcher like a well-strung mandolin. Yet rather than grow angry at being used in such a calculating manner, he fell white head over muddy boots in love with her. What happened then? Well, I won't go into detail. Suffice to say that Yennefer's plans hardly delighted the Djinn, and without his cooperation she proved unable to tame it. The sorceress would surely have met a tragic end and taken all of the Rend along with her, had Geralt not rushed to her rescue. For once he did not need to draw either of his blades to send the Djinn packing, he had but to pronounce the third and final wish. He could have asked for anything: wealth, fame, power. But instead he asked the Djinn to bind his fate to that of the arrogant yet intriguing sorceress from Wengerberg. Julian Alfred Pankratz, Viscount of Leadenhove, born 1232, award-winning poet, playwright, and troubadour, frequent performer at the courts of Nebumir, Vizimir, Benzlov, and many other nobles and notables, alumnus of Oxenfurt Academy. That's Dandelion. Very educated, very musically talented, and very arrogant. And I love him. The collected verse of Gonzalo de Verseo Love is to build a house of cards or play a game of chess, but one wrong word or ill-thought move and you must start it all afresh. Tide, whenever I watch the tide recede, cold coils of fear grip round my heart. Will the seas sneak back, calm and sure, in the dark of night as they have before? Or will they stay on distant shores, leaving crushed shells and washed-up dreams as memory of Circe of yore? So there's poetry. Oh, those are books. Yep. Yep, I read that. Royal Lineages of the North. Yeah, I read that. She Who Knows. Folks say there were four at first. The mother, She Who Knows, the Lady of the Wood, came here from a faraway land, and since she suffered terribly from loneliness, she made 3 daughters out of dirt and water. A long time ago, the mother was sole ruler of all of Velen. Her daughters brought her the people's requests and served as her voice. Each spring, sacrifices of grain, animals, and men were made to the Lady of the Wood on her special night. Yet as the years passed, the Lady of the Wood slipped deeper and deeper into madness. Her madness eventually spread over the land. Men took to abandoning their homes and setting out into the bog, where they became food for beasts. Before long, Velen was drowning in blood. The daughters saw their land nearing destruction and took it upon themselves to save it. When spring came once more, and with the night of sacrifices, they killed their mother and buried her in the bog. Her blood watered the oak atop Ard Serbin, and from then on the tree grew wholesome and hearty fruit for the people. As for the lady's immortal soul, it refused to leave its beloved land, so the sisters imprisoned it. To this day, it lies trapped beneath the whispering hillock, where it thrashes about in powerless rage. We will learn more about that later.
A shame I have no time.
Ambassador Varatra, Yennefer suggested I ask you about current events, the war and so on.
Of course. The Emperor's servants should keep no secrets from each other. If you will, let us approach the map.
How's the war going? I mean, apart from the fact that Nilfgaard's triumph is imminent.
I assume this to be a private conversation. We've no witnesses, so let's dispense with the propaganda, even that shrouded in irony. Our offensive was going splendidly until winter came. Edirn was in such disarray that we encountered no resistance. We had reached the Pontar before the first snows. Only a weakened Kedwin remained, and Radovid's Redania, which had ignored the rest of the North's pleas for help. We thought they'd sue for peace, perhaps even submit to vassalization. We waited for spring, certain of victory.
Radovid? Submit?
Yes, a vain hope, I agree. Radovid sent no peace envoys, nor did he advance on our positions. Instead, he trudged over the snow-bound Kestrel Mountains and attacked Kedwin, his ally. This attack took the Kedweni by surprise. They were still mourning the loss of their king. Rudderless and dejected, they laid down their arms after a few lost skirmishes and joined Radovid. And so by spring, instead of 2 weak enemies, we had only one powerful one.
What about Kavir?
Kavir values its neutrality, enough not to lend its armies, or more importantly, even its coin to either side. Returning to the war, this spring there was a massive battle in the marshes of Velen. Massive, yet indecisive. Both sides suffered enormous losses, unprecedented even. Radovid has retreated across the Pontar. He's safe for now, until reinforcements arrive from the south. Then Emperor Emir Var Emrys will deal with him once and for all.
Couldn't you just go home? Save everyone a lot of marching, not to mention a few human lives.
I'm afraid the stakes are too high to fold now. We can only go all in.
How do things look in Velen?
As bad as ever, perhaps worse. This land never flowed with milk and honey, and now it flows with blood. Armies have swept through it several times, trampling fields, looting granaries, burning villages. Famine grips the populace.
So how's ruling that earthly paradise going for you?
Not well, to be honest. Our forces are spread thin as it is, and Velen is chiefly swampy forests that are difficult to control. We've had several patrols never return to their camps. Thus, we've temporarily delegated authority in this region to a certain Nordling, a former low-ranking officer in the Temerian army, one Philip Strenger, better known by his nom de guerre, the Bloody Baron. I advise you well. Avoid him.
So what I love about this conversation is you're seeing things from an Empire's perspective, and despite this inevitable crushing victory that's coming, you're seeing hints that not all is well. You're seeing, the opposition is showing some cleverness, and we're going to go to Vela next, and when he means that the situation there is shit, he means the situation there is shit. And you're going to arrive, and you're going to realize, like, there is nothing good happening in Velen. So...
Any news from Novigrad? Is the free city still free?
Yes, although everyone knows this won't last. Radovid is in Oxenford, and the Emperor is here in Vizima, at Novigrad's doorstep, both. And both require coin and ships. Novigrad can provide these. Which is why the mood in the city is rather, well, on edge.
Meaning?
How do men deal with fear? They seek reassurance and scapegoats. The Church of the Eternal Fire understands this perfectly, and so it promises to improve the lives of its flock by pointing out the guilty. Who started the war? Who profits from it? Why, it's obvious. Mages, elves, dwarves, in a word, any and all deviants. I've been stationed in Novigrad for 13 years. First as a consul, then as ambassador. I've seen a great deal. Cruelty, cynicism, greed. But what is happening there now concerns me greatly.
I just love this shit. This is such good writing. And yeah, we're going to get to Novigrad much later in the game. And, well, not much later. We're going to be in Velen for a long time. And, like, Novigrad is a fantastic city. Probably the best... I think it's the best city ever put in a video game. But, as the ambassador was telling you, it's amazing how fucking cruel and evil people are. And just how much lying is going on. How much deception. And you're going to find yourself involved in really complicated alliances where you can't trust anybody. So, it's like... It feels very realistic to me, especially with this war on their doorstep.
What's new in Skellige?
Nothing. The islanders pride themselves on that, don't they? Doing everything according to tradition, as their forefathers did. And like their forefathers, they quarrel with each other, pillage, occasionally attack our transports. This is cumbersome, but nothing more. Skellige has always been a footnote to history, and so it shall remain.
Sound awfully confident. What if King Bran manages to unite the Jarls? Lead all the clans against your fleet?
King Bran is a feeble old man. From what I know, he barely remembers the names of his own vassals. Uniting all might prove difficult.
Thanks for your help.
Think nothing of it. May the great sun light your path.
Ah, man, that's just great stuff.
Yes, Geralt? Something else?
Okay, there's no more dialogue.
Thanks for your help.
Think nothing.
So, there's one more thing we need to do here. Oh, why am I confused right now? Oh, I have to go out this way.
How might I serve the gentleman?
By returning my things.
Citrus and cloves. The fragrance will keep the gentleman's robes fresh somewhat longer.
Thanks, bunches.
The Emperor is not known for his patience. He wants his daughter back safe and sound. As soon as possible.
Yeah, mentioned something of the sort. So long.
Alright, we got some stuff to read. Imperial audience. Short though it was, Geralt's audience with Emir proved substantial. The Emperor's daughter and Geralt's erstwhile ward and friend, Cirilla, had returned from a faraway land. She was in danger, her life was threatened, the Wild Hunt was pursuing her. Emir knew he had to find his long-unseen progeny before the Wraiths did. First he had sought Yennefer's help, yet they soon discovered that the sorceress locating spells attracted the Hunt's attention. It was clear they had to find Ciri without resorting to magic, employing only conventional means. Few men are better trackers than my old friend Geralt of Rivia, so Emir promised him a mountain of gold in exchange for his help. Yet Geralt accepted the task willingly for personal, not material reasons. This I know for certain, because of all the people in the world, Ciri was dearest to Geralt. He would do anything to save her. And I don't think there's anything else here. So this is a lot of stuff that's kind of filling you in. We're in the middle of a war, and it's a big deal. Yeah, okay, that's... Oh, we have a new quest. The Nilfgaardian Connection, Travel to Velen. Geralt traveled to Velen in search of Ciri, an act that attested to the depth of his devotion. Only a man who has been to this land can know just how vile it is. At this time, it was commonly known as No Man's Land. Why? Well, the Emperor of Nilfgaard had not yet claimed it. Temeria was in disarray, and the Redanians had already retreated north. No man had been left in charge, and he had proved a terrible ruler. Geralt needed to find Hendrik, an Imperial agent who had been working on Ciri's case, and to collect from him what information he had managed to gather. There is a... somewhere around here. Oh, we have a new marker. One-time home of the Kings of Temeria, currently occupied by Nilfgaard. There is somewhere... right there. A hidden cache. What is this? Saddle and an old letter. Dear Sir Roderick DeWitt, please forgive me for my tardy response. I was waiting for Golan Vivaldi to confirm sufficient funds were available to redeem the bill of exchange you provided. Not that I don't trust you, but the gods help those who help themselves, as the Kowani saying goes. Getting straight to your question, Princess Ada's curse could indeed be caused to return. The Witcher for Rivia had only a rudimentary knowledge of magic arcana, and so was not able to fully remove the spell, instead only temporarily disrupted its workings. For Ada to become a Striga once more, one would have to sprinkle her food with 3 drops of blood from her father, King Foltest 3 drops of blood from a wolf, and 3 drops of bile from a freshly buried woman, one who died having finished 100 years but not yet having started her 101st. The one must cast the Incepted Triangle over the meal thus prepared. That should do the trick. Yet please consider carefully whether you wish to truly carry out such an ignoble deed. Hoping to do business again with you in the future, Alessandra Deville. That's interesting. And I got a saddle, but first I need my armor. And I need my swords. Yes, I have my crossbow. Okay. 20 stamina. I should equip... oh, that is equipped. 25 stamina. So that's a better saddle. And there's a quest. This is a hard fight.
Wouldn't mind a few rounds of cards.
Gwent. Clear any weather. I want this card now. Which means I don't need the clear weather card. I have... Oh, I need another decoy, yeah. Decoys are very helpful. This is a hard fight. I don't need two of these. Two decoys. There we go. This is an interesting hand. I don't know if I can win with this hand. I didn't get any weather cards, which is kind of problematic. He can't scorch me, which is good. Oh, this is gonna help. So I could decoy. So decoy could take a card, and that's a spy. So I can get a spy, which lets me draw 2 cards. Not good. That's not a good draw. Let's see what happens here. This is actually helping me a little bit. I want him to blow a weather card or something. This is good. I'm pushing him deep in round 1. Okay. If he hits me with weather, I'll clear weather. He's got good cards still, so... Okay. It is now time to abandon ship. Yeah, I'm probably gonna lose. I need a really good draw, or I have to win this round first. Or let's see what happens. He'll pass. Yeah. Okay, this could be useful. I get a card for being Northern Realms. I got really crappy cards, unfortunately. Oh, now I'm gonna lose. Yeah, I had a terrible draw. If you get a terrible draw, it's highly unlikely you'll win. Oh. It was pretty close despite my terrible draw. So I didn't get weather cards Like, the strategy to win here is I need weather cards. Let's try that again.
Wouldn't mind a few rounds of cards.
That was, like, I had really, really bad draws. That was killing my chances. Oh, this is much, much, much better. I don't need you. And I have a frost. This is really good. I think I can win now. But I don't have a decoy. That's a problem. Please give me a decoy. Ugh. You passed. Well, that's not good. Fuck. At least I get a card for winning. I need to push as much as possible. He's got a Scorch. Okay. I might actually be able to beat you now. Unless you have another Scorch. I'm gonna push him deep this round, hoping to get the good cards out. You had another Scorch. Ha 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 ha. I definitely want to keep pushing. And I should keep pushing. So, 2 Scorches, a Commander's Horn, and a few of his golds have disappeared. If he had a Spy, he would have already played it. He probably has nothing. Wow. That's why you push deep, so you can get their good cards out. I can pull out this. Yeah, so I got hit with a Commander's Horn and 2 Scorches, and I still won. Scorches are the weakest part. It's the major weakness with Northern Realms. I received full test. A well-aimed ballista raises not just the enemy's walls, but morale as well. Doubles the strength of all your siege unit unless a commander's horn is on the row. That's an interesting card, but clear weather is better. Okay. That's everything that there is to do here.
Ninta minha dentro.
Geralt and Yennefer were reunited, but something even more important happened in Vizima. Geralt learned that Cirilla, his one-time ward, had returned from afar, and she was in danger. He was to find her, at the Emperor's command and Yennefer's behest.
Bella in Northern Temeria 5 days later. This is when the game really starts. Hearts of Stone. Thank you for purchasing Hearts of Stone expansion. Your currently tracked quest has been changed to the first quest of Hearts of Stone. Yeah, we only recommend starting it if your character is at least level 30. Have fun and good luck on the path. Runewright. When playing Hearts of Stone expansion, you can encounter a Runewright marked by the something icon on your map. This new craftsman, the only of its kind, comes from a far-off land and can use his arcane knowledge to considerably improve your equipment. Seek him out and see for yourself. Quest. So we're in Ciri's footsteps. Emperor of Emrys has been searching for his daughter Ciri for quite some time. Even the most dubious sighting of an ashen-haired young woman with a scar on her cheek would send Imperial spies scurrying. Not even the harsh conditions of war-ravaged Velen deterred them. Indeed, it is there that they had been most successful, determining that Ciri had been, and possibly still was, in the region. Reports of a similar nature had also come in from Novigrad, but remained unconfirmed. Emir spooks had gathered nothing concrete from Skellige, but an explosion of magical energy had taken place on one of the isles, and it seemed likely that Ciri had been somewhat involved. Evil's first soft touches. Check the notice board outside of the Seven Cats Inn. When Geralt later told me the story, which began at the Seven Cats Inn notice board, he mentioned he had felt drawn to that place, as if some strange, undefined force wanted him to appear there on that day and at that time. I didn't give his remark a second thought until I heard the tale to its conclusion and realized its beginning had been no accident. I read that one. Pyres of Novigrad. Visit Triss in her house. Ciri's trail took Geralt to Novigrad, the largest city in the north. It would take seas of ink to describe the city accurately. So suffice it to say, it is the seat of the Church of the Eternal Fire, a bustling port city and a haven for artists and all sorts of other shady characters. Yet Novigrad at this time was not the city Geralt knew from his earlier travels. War raged through the known world, and rich cities often proved tempting morsels to armies on the march. It was clear at this time that this particular morsel had both Radovid and Emir greedily licking their chops. Within the city, the Temple Guard acted with impunity under the command of a cankerous snot named Keleb Meng, and with support of that terror-spreading band of zealots, the Witch Hunters. Meanwhile, the kingpins of the city's underworld still held much of it in their sleazy grasp. Finding Ciri here would be like searching for a needle in a burning haystack. Geralt would clearly need some assistance. Luckily, an old acquaintance of his now lived in Novigrad. Her name was Triss Marigold. Find a boat headed to Skellige. The search for Ciri taking Yennefer to the wind-swept Skellige Isles. That is to say, lest her mind filled with visions of our elegant sorceress shivering on some barren rock, it had taken her to a suite of comfortable rooms near Caer Trolde Castle on the Isle of Ard Skellig. Geralt was to join her there, and thus set off to the port in Novigrad, where he had hoped to find a captain bold enough to brave the pirate-infested waters on the route. Gwent, playing innkeeps. Win Stefan's unique card. It is an innkeeper's job to tend to his guests' needs. Usually this takes the form of serving strong drinks and listening to tales of loves lost and wounds received. Yet at times a patron will wish to play a hand of Gwent, which is why all the good innkeepers keep a deck at ready at all times, and the excellent ones, they keep excellent decks full of top-notch cards that can provide an evening of challenge and excitement to even the most refined Gwent player. Geralt was determined to win some of these cards for himself. We did that one. Witchers should be neutral, avoid meddling in the affairs of others, but at times it's hard to be indifferent. While searching for Yennefer, Geralt and Vesemir stopped by the tavern in the village of White Orchard. When a row erupted in the establishment soon afterwards, Vesemir decided to defend the besieged innkeep. Unfortunately, instead of calming the situation, he inflamed it. The Witchers were forced to draw their steel swords, those they used to kill humans. They say idioms are the wisdom of nations, but the saying, with many against one, even a Witcher's done, rarely proves true. Now their foes held the advantage in numbers, Geralt and Vesemir tended to them handily. Unfortunately, the innkeeper they had sought to protect hardly appreciated the jester. Terrified at the bloody massacre, she tossed her saviors out the door. You read that one. Yeah, okay. So let me show you the map before I end this session. You see this, guys? Do you see this? Novigrad is huge. It looks like it's nothing, okay? But this city is monstrously huge. And I mean monstrously huge. It's just crazy how big it is. And then you can see that there's Novigrad, Velen, Skellige. Look at how big Skellige is. There's a lot to do. I'm almost level 4, and I will save it here. Until next time, Richard out. I can't save.